Okay, here's a tutorial on using the various MIDI recording settings in Logic. I'm going to go through some workflow techniques, and I'll show you some of the various ways that you can speed up your workflow, your MIDI recording techniques in Logic. Before we look at those settings, I want to go to a few important key commands that I'm going to be using. To get to those key commands, you go Logic Pro, Preferences, and then all the way to the bottom you have key commands. There's a shortcut key, the option K will get you this same window here. This is where you can interact with the key commands, make changes, write your own, etc. I'll do a whole another tutorial on that. But of importance here is the options and presets. I'm using US in this case. There's a few options for us here. US with numeric keypad. There's a Pro Tools compatible one, but US. And by having that selected, if I go and expand the key commands under that parameter, you'll see that under Record, R is my shortcut key. All right. So I'm going to be using R throughout this lesson. To get to your recording settings in Logic, it's a setting, so you can go here and go Recording and get this window, overlapping recordings. This is the area that we're going to be working in. You get the same window if you right-click on the record button like this and go to recording settings. Same thing. Before we dive into this section, I want to show you one other thing regarding the R button. I'm going to right-click here again. You've got record, record toggle, and record, repeat. I use record, repeat, and I'll be doing it throughout this lesson. What record does is simply hitting R. You throw Logic into record. You hit your space bar to stop. Record toggle is good for situations if you're running a session somebody else is playing. What this will do is upon hitting R, you'll go into record, and when you hit R again, you go out of record, and the playhead keeps moving. So you can do punches, punch on the fly, things like that. What I love about this record, repeat, which I'll be using, I'm going to select it here, is you throw Logic into record, you can start recording your ideas, and should you just want to start over again, you've made some mistakes, instead of hitting the space bar, deleting the region, starting over again, hitting R will do all that for you. It'll erase the region that you just created, and give you a clean slate to start with, and that's the way I'm going to be using it here. So once again, I'm going to right click here and go to the record settings. By default, you're always going to be at this merge only in cycle record, which is a real handy setting, but there's 4 others that we're going to take a look at. Merge only in cycle record, I'll leave it here right now and just talk about the functionality of that. Basically, it allows you to layer idea on top of idea. Great for doing drums if you want to layer your drums up that way. Great for doing complicated piano parts where perhaps you play the right hand part on your first pass through and then you put your left hand part in on the second pass. So most people are used to that setting. I'll just do a quick beat here and reinforce that. I'm going to hit R. Okay, so obviously you need to do a bunch of quantizing on this. Double click on the region and it opens up in the piano roll, and you can see all of your hits here. To quantize this, you probably notice when I hit play here, my first kick doesn't play, and that's because it's falling just ahead of bar 1, so it's not going to trigger. So just go through and fix these first. I just hit the C1 key and that highlights all the kicks here. I was playing kind of a 16th note pattern, more syncopated, so I'll go down here and hit 16ths. That should tighten that up. I was doing the same thing with the shaker pattern, more of a 16th note pattern. Now I just hit the Q button here and it's going to do the same thing. Snares are pretty straight on quarter notes, so I'll fix that like that. So this should be a little tighter. So you can see it did not take care of my hi-hat rhythm the way I wanted. I was swinging it a little more. So I'm going to go up here to some of these swing parameters and start here. It goes A through F. It goes in various levels of swing. I'll try to swing a little more. That's a little more what I had in mind. I'll just try a couple other ones here. E swing. All right, kind of noticing the same thing on the kick drum. I was doing a little bit more of a swing pattern. And it's mostly these notes that I wanted to swing. So I will just highlight that note itself and say, swing it. Yeah, and that fixes that up. So there's a little bit on using a quantize in the swing feature. So there's an idea. I'm going to pull this MIDI region over. The reason it extends like that is because I had that first kick note that was outside of the beat 1, bar 1, beat 1, division 1, tick 1.